A few months ago, several months ago, I posted a video. It's time for Christians to get excited about 2025. And I pointed out how the new atheism was like fizzling out because all the stuff that they said was going to happen if millions of people become atheists, none of it happened. And then you have what's called the avalanche of apostasy in Islam, meaning that the apostasy rates went from close to 0% like 20 years ago to like 26% right now. So they're panicking over apostasy and so on. And then there was a study. I did a show with a guy who did a study in the UK, and what he thought was the same thing most of us would think, namely that each generation is becoming more atheistic in the UK. And he said it's actually the reverse. The oldest generations were the most atheistic, and the youngest generation is actually the least atheistic. Now, some of them are calling themselves like spiritual and things like that, but they were like massively open to sort of thing. And then, of course, there was the Pew study that just came out that there was a steady decline for decades in the number of people who identify as Christian. And then like for the past 4 or 5 years, it's actually been increasing. So what are things looking like for you as far as this, like maybe just being a golden year for some sort of like revival in Christianity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's God's providence that any of this stuff is happening. The fact that I was talking about Christian manuscripts on Joe Rogan is ridiculous. That Andrew Schultz was asking me about Bible discrepancies, like what is happening? Like, we had this lady write in who works at probably the last Christian bookstore that exists in the entire country here in Canada. And she said that teenagers are walking in and asking where they can find Bibles because all their friends are reading Bibles. It's like, that's not something that was happening when I was a teenager. The Bible was not trending when I was in high school or even during my undergrad. So I think what we're seeing is something that is the work of the Spirit in just regular people.